Hey everybody, these are the setup for today's lab. We're going to be mixing some waters, and the first thing you're going to need is to go get 200 milliliters of water in each of these containers. And 200 milliliters is really easy because that's the top line on these beakers. So you can see you want them fairly full. When you've got your two waters at your desk, raise your hand and myself or Mrs. Brent is going to come by and we're going to put some food coloring in your water so that we can track its movement. And so we will do that. So as soon as you have your waters, raise your hand and we'll come color them, and then they're going to look like you see here. Now the next part of it you're going to have some salt, and we want to add the salt to our lighter colored food coloring here, and we want to put 2 pretty good spoonfuls in there and then mix those in really well. We don't want to get to a saturation point on here, so you don't want to dump any more than two spoonfuls in here. And so we'll spend a bit and we'll just make sure that that's nice and well mixed in there. And this will dissolve that without any problem. Now the next part, I don't know what to say, it's not really tricky, but you want to do this at the same time, and that is you want to pour both of these into here, and you can see that this has got this little removable section in the middle. That wants to go in. Please don't pound them with your hand or do anything like that, but you want to kind of pour both these liquids in at the same time. Now you can do that by yourself, or you can have you and a partner do it, but what you'll do is you'll put them in this tank, and that center piece is going to be the separator. Now I'm not going to separate this because I want you all to observe what happens when we do that, and you may be drawing some before and after models, but you can see this setup is ready, and what you will do is then you're going to pull that gate out and you're going to see how these two mix, the fresh water and the salt water. Okay? So, and those will be your two models. Now, don't dump it out because Mrs. Brent and I are going to have you do one last thing, and it's just really kind of aside from what we're doing, but it's pretty cool to watch anyway. So once you've got this out and they've mixed in, don't go dump it in the sink until you're instructed to by either Mrs. Brent or myself. Now when we do clean up, we do need to make sure that we get these all rinsed out really well. So please come over to the rinse buckets here in the sink, and please when you dump these out, don't dump them directly into our rinse bucket. This all colored water is no good to us. We'll dump it kind of to the side of it. It'll be easier for you because you will not have that left in the middle. And then we need to make sure we get a good rinse on all of our materials. If you just do that a couple of times like this, then those are really well rinsed out for the next class. You can set them out with their top down. We'll have something to catch the water. And then on this, just take this out, rinse it as well, and then finally this is a little trickier because they're long but they work just fine, and you can rinse that out as well. But we need to make sure everything is nice and clean and we don't have any colored water residue for the next class. And that's it for the instructions on this. This is a really fun one to watch, and again, listen for directions as we do this because Mrs. Brent and I are going to have you do one more thing after you lift the gate out and notice how those two mix. All right?